Get in here, you old strangers. Hit that like and share the love. You know, we do our own thing around here. Woo! We had a lot of great discussion going on yesterday, and I thought, hey, why not round two? Avi's coming up today if she can. I invited Tiffany to come up. Our girl Chloe Jade, let me tell you what, she is a walking encyclopedia on this case. Good morning, Bayou Babe. The first one in was Britt. I posted the show yesterday afternoon, and Britt came right in. Thank you for that, Britt. Hey, Izzy. Kristen, what's up? DC Primetime. Alpha males are not abusers. You know, again, we do our own thing over here. I would say OJ is an alpha cat. I actually have a bug bite on my face. I look like the damn elephant man right now. I did take a little bit of Benadryl. Called my son last night, and I was complaining to him, and he was like, why don't you just go to the urgent care, Mom? I said, Kent, I'm like 4 beers in right now. You think I'm going to drive to the urgent care? He goes, well, then just do telemedicine. I said, that's what I'm trying to do. My daughter-in-law is a doctor. You've got to be kidding me. Anyhow, so as usual, just treat myself, you know. And I'm in bed, and OJ is stepping on my face to wake me up this morning. Okay? I got so irritated. I'm like, damn it, OJ, you lick your own asshole and you step in your own piss and shit. I don't think it is hygienic to be messing with the elephant man's face, you know, considering how unhygienic you are. But I jumped right up, fed him, and well, here we are. It shall be okay. It shall be. Anyhow, that's what happens. Family is the original F word, but that's it. My kids don't give a shit about me. Just go to the urgent care, Mom. Hang on. What? You gotta be kidding me. All right, so it is showtime. Time to get to it. We have a lot of stuff to discuss. Now, I'm going to say this. The rest of the week, we have a new case we're going to discuss tomorrow. We might do it this afternoon because I am neck deep in this case, but I got to figure out more about it, and I want to talk to some of the family members. I'll give you a spoiler alert on the members community tab. But we're going to talk also this week, just do a recap about Summer Wells, Michael Vaughn. Not that Sebastian is not important, but we have so many other cases. You know, we have a lot of food to cook and not enough burners some days. But here we are, and it's showtime.
Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
It's showtime.
Oh, it's showtime. Now then, had a lot of discussion yesterday about Seth, no ass, and big ass. I did have a conversation yesterday with no ass, Chris Proudfeet. He's not going to come on the channel, okay? He's already getting too much attention. With everything going on, he is the most upset with me about saying he has no ass. Okay. That's the only complaint you have with my show, is me saying, damn, Chris don't have no ass. He also didn't know what moob meant. Does anyone see an ass there? Of all the things. We spoke about different punishments that the alpha male gave to Sebastian, and a lot of things really blew my mind. I spoke with Trev, and he'd already heard about all this stuff. It was just confirmed yesterday. I guess we need a new name for No Ass because he's really upset with me. One thing I did ask him, because I was just letting him, remember the teacher in Charlie Brown? Wah, wah, wah. That's basically what I was listening to. And I said, do you miss him? And it caught him off guard. Do you know what his question was? His answer? Let me rephrase. As he's going, wah, wah, wah. And I could hear Big Ass in the background. I said, do you miss him? He said, who? Well, that told me all I need to know. Who do you think I'm talking about? Think I'm talking about Bill Clinton? Who? Let's take a second and tell everyone, hola. I'm going to drop the link because we got a lot of stuff to discuss today. Who? Well, we know who. I guarantee about 99% of us have children, grandchildren, all of the above. When we punish our children, discipline our children, which we have all had to do, has anyone in here ever had arguments with your child about, say, a messy room? I know I have. I was telling Chloe yesterday. When Miss Proudfeet said, well, for obvious reasons, I'm not just going to open his door. Well, for obvious reasons, you knock on the door. Is everything okay? I used to knock on my son's rooms. Not a joke. I'd say, hey, I'm doing dishes. Load in the dishwasher right now. I know y'all have plates, bowls, cups, the whole 9 yards in here. And they would open the door, they would crack it, like it's almost like a damn jail cell, and just hand me a bunch of damn dirty dishes. And I would go and put them up. But oh no, she respects his privacy so much that she's like, well, for obvious reasons, I'm not going to go in there. What obvious reasons? What are you talking about? You heard something odd. Thought about a comment I had yesterday. It said, I believe the 3-hour phone call was after the thud, and that is if Sebastian even made it home. So back to what we're talking about. When your children aren't exactly keeping their rooms on the up and up, what do? Tell them, clean this nightmare up? Or do you take every stick of furniture out of their room, including the bed? But that's kind of up in the air, because it seems that No Ass didn't remember telling Nancy Grace he got the mattress after Sebastian disappeared. Unless my ears were deceiving me. Why was there a mattress in a 3-car garage? They have plenty of bedrooms. He said after. Not what he said to me yesterday. Hello, Jewels of all trade. I'm so glad you're here. Let's look at the comments, and then I am going to post the link. Leah said, Peter Hyatt said, I hope she breaks. Seth said, I hope she unburdens herself. She says, that is so telling, and I agree 100%. So do I. That was such a heavy statement that Seth said back to Peter Hyatt. I hope she unburdens herself. One, two, three, singing is my life. Damn, sing to me. She said, men don't have heated arguments if one has hands in his pockets. And if KP and CP are both joining ranks, why wasn't KP standing there also? I don't believe the BS. Now, people that were there are saying that it wasn't all kumbaya, that it went a little something like this. No ass was in Seth's face. They said there was yelling. Seth retreats. He's standing back. He's cornered. He puts his hands in his pockets. And from there, we hear kumbaya. To me, pictures are worth 1,000 words. Jewels of all trade said, yeah, it looks like CP was telling Seth the business. I agree. Brenda said, what if Chris is throwing Katie under the bus and really suspects her? Did something nefarious with Sebastian and wants to work with Seth now to bring her down and make her crack? Chris is still guilty of being a jerk. I have been wondering about this because she's not there. Okay? She didn't go for the kumbaya. We also have some breaking news. You all ready for breaking news? Very rarely do I get to play the song, but here we are. Here's the breaking news. Here is today's breaking news, straight from Crime Lines and Lies. No Ass Chris said that him and Katie were at the Harley shop. Not that they were wanting to buy a Harley. They're organizing a bike rally for Sebastian. Almost 2 months later. Would you go to the Harley Davidson shop or would you just call up a local bike club? Lies. Customers there recognized them and took pictures and put them online saying, are you kidding me? I know who they are. But he said that they were there to organize a bike rally. Baca does it all the time. Why don't you get a hold of them? They would gladly do it. Lies. And I don't know what kind of sex position she's in with her cigarettes in her back pocket. But man, I can smell it from here. Gotta be kidding me. All right, I'm going to put the link up. Chloe and Avi are going to come up. Jewels of all trade, you are more than welcome to come up. I know you're super busy, but we have some things to go through. Oh, here's another comment I want to talk about. Runs with scissors. Love you, girlfriend. Said, I would never unite with the person who abused my child. The mother let this happen. CP always has an end game. The statement Seth made was rude and made it sound like if we don't like KP and CP, we can F off. That is what he said. But I do think he was somewhat cornered. Had a few news articles that came out yesterday in regards to Sebastian's case. First, let's bring up our friend Avi. We also have Pam backstage. Good morning, Avi. What can I do for you, my friend?
Good morning. How are y'all?
Woo. Woo. I don't know.
Fired up per usual.
Fired up. We're fired up around here. If anything, I feel bad for the motorcycles that the Proud Feet were looking at. I wouldn't want that crotch on my seat.
Don't people start those things online like Facebook or something? You don't have to go to a Harley Davidson dealership for that. But nice cover, Chris. Nice cover.
No, when you go to a dealership, they usually like to sell things, not say, sure, everyone take a test run and we'll say it's for Sebastian. That's not how it works. You get a hold of Baca, you get a hold of Hell's Angels, whatever you want to call it. There's millions of different motorcycle gangs that will do it. And all I'm going to say to our friends in Hendersonville that are going to the Hurley shop, don't buy that bike. Don't buy that bike. Look at her with her cigarettes in her back pocket trying to swing that big ass up on there. There's Chris. Look at this. Look at this. And I mean, with everything going on, he's only upset that I said he has no ass.
Priorities, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about alpha males. I consider my husband to be an alpha male. He stays on top of things. He works hard. He knows his business. He's firm when he needs to be, sometimes a little too firm, like when I get into power tools and stuff. He doesn't like that. But how many children my alpha male has missing?
Well, is OJ in the house right now?
OJ's right here.
Oh.
That's a big old fat zero. That's a big old fat zero. Everybody is happy, healthy, and accounted for. How about your alpha male, Avi?
Yeah, everyone is accounted for here as well.
Mm-hmm.
I had to double check, but yes, Bo was in the box. We're good.
Everyone's good. Okay. So that's what alpha males do. They just handle their business. They don't handle their business by putting a 15-year-old in pull-ups. They don't handle their business by taking every stitch of furniture out of a child's room, and because they can't clean it to their standards. They don't handle their business by possibly, we don't know, making a child sleep in the garage on a mattress. We don't know. They don't handle their business by making fun of a 15-year-old boy. Anything you want to add to that?
You know how I feel about the bedroom, the bedroom cleaning thing. I mean, they're obviously, if they were in the Navy, military, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
A 15-year-old's not going to be able to live up to that standard because the 15-year-old didn't go to the military and didn't go to the Navy. So, choose your battles wisely, like calm down. You know what I mean? Like if there's something that's not in its place, it's not the end of the world. We're talking about a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Choose your battles wisely. Make sure that they're getting their homework and assignments complete. Make sure that they're, turning out to be a good person. But whenever you're that strict and that demanding, the only thing you're doing is raising another asshole. And we already have enough of those in this world. Do you know what I mean?
No shortage of assholes. You're right. Britt, comment of the day. Oh, Brooks. So Chris can make fun of a teen's body, but you can't speak on his body. Yeah, don't talk about Proudfoot's ass. Don't talk about his ass. He was so pissed about that yesterday. Okay, by me. And you're so right about the military. You know, I used to tell my oldest son, because I mean he was just damn junky around his room all the time. I said, you know what? Clean it, or I'm going to call the damn health department. The hell is going on around here? He goes to the Air Force, comes back after basic training. He's teaching me how to clean.
Yeah.
He doesn't just make the bed like I do. You know, you straighten the comforter, you fluff the pillows. Oh, hell no. I'm like, who is this child? Where did he come from? I mean, he tucks his sheets in a certain way. He lines his shoes up a certain way. Yeah.
Yeah, 15-year-olds don't go through that type of training because they're only 15. So, I don't know. I could only imagine if it really was that strict around that household, anybody would be miserable in that type of, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I would hate it. And I'm sure that if that's what Sebastian had to go through, it had to be miserable.
Oh, 100%. Look where we are right now. Kids don't just decide they're going to, even if they run away, they can be found.
Mm-hmm.
They can be found. Our girl Tiffany, I spoke to her this morning. She is very well aware that Harley Ho is what I'm calling her. She is not happy at all with Tiffany's participation on this channel. But
Ooh.
Tiffany seems to be okay. Let's bring up our friend Chloe Jade. Chloe Jade, what are you doing today? Oh, beautiful avatar. She's muted. Chloe is muted. There she is.
Hey guys. Hey Avi. Hey Brooks. I'm unmuted now. Sorry.
Hey, Chloe.
Hey.
All right. So Mary Lopez said, so KP was lying about a motorcycle rally. They might be working on that. I don't know. But being at the Harley shop while the prayer vigil was going on has nothing to do with the motorcycle rally. You see, those motorcycles are for sale. What do you think, Chloe?
Yeah, well, the first story was that picture was from a long time ago. And then they're organizing a rally.
A long time ago?
Yeah,
Sebastian was missing a long time ago. He's got a Sebastian shirt on.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. That was their first lie. Now it's a motorcycle rally. So, whatever. I don't buy any of it.
Mm-hmm. They're both bullies. They have bullied Sebastian. I believe anytime they could back Seth into a corner, they could. I had a lot of comments yesterday saying, Brooks, quit defending this man. Quit defending Seth. Listen, Seth didn't live there. Seth doesn't live there. Seth, he could be the biggest POS in the world. He's not part of Sebastian's disappearance.
Nope.
Yeah, he was at work. He was accounted for.
There's no question about that.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get to some clips that came through overnight. We already know about the two private investigators. We also know that Seth wants the FBI to take this case over. I don't want to hurt Seth's feelings, but I have a very strong inkling they will not take the case over.
51 days since 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers went missing from his Sumner County home.
The sheriff's office there telling Fox 17 News they've had no viable leads to finding the boy with autism. And now Sebastian's father is making a public plea for the FBI to take over this case.
There's even a petition now. Fox 17 News' investigative reporter Kelly Avellino, you've been following this case since the beginning. So what can you share with us this Wednesday morning?
Well, this has been a devastating, traumatic, and certainly frustrating experience for Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers. He has taken off work every single day since Sebastian went missing to help search for him, and still there has been no trace of his son. Sebastian is believed to have walked off from his home in the Shackle Island community of Sumner County in the middle of the night back on February 25th. That, according to his mother and stepfather, Katie and Chris Proudfoot. But now Seth Rogers has launched an online petition calling for the FBI to come in and take the lead on this case and to investigate it as a criminal matter as well.
Woo! This is on the Nashville News. Is this a criminal matter or not? They had to step back because someone that works for the powers that be said this is a criminal investigation. Then they turned around and said, oh, sorry, typo, it's just an investigation. Why are they so shy to say it's a criminal investigation? Why would that be?
Well, if it wasn't a criminal investigation, why was one of the first places they searched a landfill? That's always been my question.
I want to know too. DT Driver said absolutely it is. Why won't they publicly say this is a criminal investigation? We can't rule out foul play. We have no scent of him. We have no sight of him. Of course it's a criminal investigation. We're investigating if a crime occurred. That's what that means, correct?
Yes. Do you think that they have said that, like, tried to make it that way so it doesn't look like they're really onto what they're onto?
That could be it. It could be a kind of a cat and mouse game that they have their suspicions about who did what, but they don't want to alert them. So they're trying to play cool with them while they do what they need to do. It could be that, you know, they're tired of some of the crazy ass phone calls they get. I mean, the sheriff is getting phone calls, people asking, why haven't you found Sebastian? Well, he can't find Sebastian when he's taking phone calls from people asking why he hasn't found Sebastian. Think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wish people would just call in legitimate tips, helpful tips, and that's it at this point, so can they can work on it and they can search.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, we don't want anything to be a HIPAA violation. Isn't that what Noah said? That would be a HIPAA violation. I'm like, he doesn't even know what the hell he's talking about. I mean, how did he make it to the age he is with being so damn dumb? But anyway, it happens.
Take a look. Seth Rogers writes here, we want the FBI to take over the investigation of the case of missing Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers from Sumner County Sheriff's Office. It has been 50 days since Sebastian has gone missing. No scent trail from dogs, no video footage of Sebastian leaving his mother's house, yet no criminal investigation at all.
You know, how disturbing is this? No scent from dogs. No camera surveillance. And you can't tell me in that neighborhood no one has. Everyone had their cameras turned off. Yet no criminal investigation. And the investigation, in my opinion, is being led by Harley Proudfeet. She's the one that said he must have just walked out. He must have just walked out. Okay. Well, he's not a cheetah. He didn't run to the next state.
No, there would be evidence. There would be a scent trail. There would be something if he walked out of that door.
100%. There'd be a scent trail outside to tell like what direction he went.
Exactly.
And in this amount of time, the fact that he knows phone numbers by heart, he would have reached out to someone.
Absolutely. His father.
Yeah. No jacket, no shoes, 26 degrees, yet she can say that he had a flashlight with him. How do we know?
That doesn't make any sense. Any teenager I know uses a flashlight on their phone.
Hang on. Rexy has a theory. I'm going to drop the link while she's getting situated. She can come up. A flashlight, but didn't take his phone. Get real.
And she knew what she was wearing, or excuse me, she knew what he was wearing, and she knew that he walked out the front door. But how do you know that if you didn't witness him walking out the front door? And why was he in all black? Would love to know.
Yeah, he's like the Tennessee Brian Koberger.
Oh my God.
It's like the same damn exact outfit that Koberger supposedly had on. And how does she know what he has on? Considering, for obvious reasons, she said she won't just open his door. She's not going to bother him. So how does she know what he went to bed in? How does she know what he went to sleep in?
That was a very inappropriate thing to say. Oh, that has always bothered me.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, for obvious reasons. Hang on. There's our friend Rexy. She has a theory. Let's give it up for Rexy. Rexy, I'm so glad you're here.
How do I turn my camera off? Oh, there we go. Never mind. I got it. I don't want anybody seeing my ugly mug.
Oh, girl, you're beautiful. So tell me, what is your theory?
I don't know if it really makes any sense because I don't know what about GPS and phone pings and all that. But my theory is something happened where, he had that water on the brain thing, right?
Mhm.
And maybe she knocked him or smacked him or something. And he fell and hit his head, and maybe something happened with that, and he died. So she called Chris, and the 3-hour phone call was him driving back.
Mm-hmm.
And he went and got him and took him somewhere between there and back to Memphis, or is that where he's working? And then she waits till 6 o'clock and calls him to say he's missing. But I would think they could find that out with phone pings and truck GPS and all that. I don't know. It's just a theory.
No, and it's a really good theory because, think about it. The 3-hour phone call is definitely relevant.
It's weird.
It's the end of the day. Everyone has work or school the next day. So it's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
And doesn't it take 3 hours to drive from his work to their house?
3 hours and 37 minutes.
Okay, well, he could have sped. I don't know. That's the only thing that makes any sense to me. Because there's just no sign of him whatsoever. That just doesn't make sense.
No dog scent, no anything. Nothing on camera.
But wouldn't they catch his truck on camera, though, coming and going? I don't know.
I would think so.
So
a lot of
that may...
he could have taken back roads. I don't know enough about the back roads going from Memphis to Hendersonville. I would think he would have to take the interstate at some point.
Well, I'm thinking like in his neighborhood, unless he pulled around back. Yeah, maybe that's what those lights are in the back. They carried his body out back and parked around on a back road or something. And those flashlights were her meeting him out there and getting the body and him taking it to his truck and her running back to the house. And I don't know. Because I don't know. That's just the theory that I have. I'll leave the living room. Sorry.
Because the phone call somehow adds into this. For some reason, they use this phone call as some sort of alibi, and I don't even know why you would even mention it.
Yeah, I know. That's why I think the way I do. Because like what Peter Hyatt said, she's got the key to the whole thing, and unless she confesses or says what happened, I don't know we'll ever know.
Or as Seth said, she unburdens herself.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. All right, girl, I'm gonna jump down. I just wanted to say that.
All right, love you, Rexy.
Love you too.
Rexy.
Great theory. I love how she thinks. Because the phone call somehow plays into this. And I do not believe, I don't care what Seth was told, that the two lights were trash truck lights, especially when the other neighbors are saying the trash doesn't pick up unless it's daylight. So we have another anomaly. No dog scent. He's not on camera anywhere. Either the thud came first or the phone call came first, because Chris cannot answer if she said anything about hearing a thud and her saying, whatever you're doing, knock it off, go back to bed. We also have to look at something very simple. When your child is going to bed, untucking the bed, changing into jammies, brushing their teeth, and they say, good night, I love you, Mama, which is what Sebastian supposedly said to Harley Proudfeet. She says back to him, good night. That hurts.
Yeah, it does. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it makes you wonder what. So, what I don't understand her even saying that exchange, because it doesn't make any sense.
I don't understand why she would even admit to that.
Exactly.
Why would you want to say that the very last time that you spoke to your son, instead of answering back, I love you too, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite, she says, good night. And she lets everyone know that. But she wants everyone to know that he says to her, I love you, Mama. And all she says back to him is good night.
Right. Which makes me wonder, were they arguing? Was there something already going on as well? Like, was she already mad at him and being short with him?
That's what I'm thinking. She was irritated and
Right.
she was being short with him. What do you think, Avi?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, because you, of course, would say, which whenever people talk about things that are said between each other, we've seen this in several cases. I don't like that. I don't like whenever they're like, he said this and she said that, especially in these cases. It makes me think about Candace Wells. I always don't believe that's truly what was said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But of course, she's the good mom. Sebastian made sure to tell her that, he loved her. And I'm sure that did happen on most nights, but I'm just not so sure that exchange happened that night.
I'm not sure that he even made it home. Hush Pup said, hi, Brooks, mods, and chats. One question. How on earth is this an Amber Alert for a missing autistic boy, and yet LE still hasn't declared this a criminal investigation 50 plus days later? It's crazy. Let me explain something. Every state has a different protocol for the Amber Alert. Some will just say missing and endangered. In Tennessee, much like Iowa and a few other states, if a child is just not with who they're supposed to be with, they get an Amber Alert. And that's why it is so confusing. So, Elijah, he seriously just wandered off into the woods and he was found 6 hours later. There was an Amber Alert. No criminal anything. He got lost in the woods. And it is confusing. I wish there was a national protocol so that way we know what we're talking about. In my state, in Oklahoma, they have to have a car tag and know who the child was last seen with. What is it in your state, Avi, or in your state, Chloe?
I'm not sure about mine. I'd have to do a little bit of Googling on that.
Me too. I don't know the exact details. I know we have a lot of Amber Alerts, and a lot of them are found, but I'm not sure the rules on that.
I should know because Kojikari is in my state.
Oh,
Well, the FBI took her case over, but that's totally different. Hang on. Main Man wants to join the chat, and I want to listen to the rest of this with you guys.
By TBI or Sumner County Sheriff's Office. That petition has nearly 12,000 signatures this morning. You can find it on my Facebook page. The Sheriff's Office, TBI, and trained teams from around the state did search a 5-mile radius around Sebastian's home the week after he went missing. They researched that same area earlier this month. Sumner County Chief Deputy Eric Craddock saying there has been no evidence of foul play. But nothing is being ruled out at this point, he says. Now, I checked in with the Sheriff's Office and TBI again yesterday and have not yet heard back. Meantime, I can tell you that volunteer search teams continue to help Seth Rogers canvassing areas in Sumner County outside of that initial 5-mile radius. Erica and Jen?
5-mile radius. Now, we're not talking just 5 miles straight and 5 miles back. Okay, just thinking about it wears me out. But it's a radius that they're searching. Personally, I think they need to go a little further out. What do you think, Chloe?
I agree. I think that he's farther away than that. They would have found him, in my opinion, if he was in that area, it seems. I don't know.
What is your thoughts on why has the mother not been searching?
I believe you don't search for something when you know where it is.
And you don't use words like missing when something's not missing. Okay,
Exactly.
Jules was backstage. I lost Jules. Let's bring Main Man up. Hey, Main Man, what's up?
How you doing? It's good to talk to you guys again.
Yeah, missed you, my friend. We haven't seen you in chat in a while. So what do you got for me today?
Well, I'm a single father, so it's kind of hard to join all the time. But so I was thinking about sometimes, I've heard over time that when things like this happen, they have to put things, they have to give us clues, right? They have to, it's like a rule of what goes on or something. I think differently. But if you watch the video of just the hands, you remember watching the video of just the hands?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you look at that video, his hands are on top of hers and he's tapping her hand. So if you think about it, he's saying this time, because she has the watch on, this time is on the mother's hands.
Okay, so further explain. What do you mean?
I'm saying that's the clue that he's trying to tell us. This time is on the mother's hands because he's tapping her hand, and there's a watch right there, like he's tapping right next to the watch. I think differently. I'm just putting it up.
No, I see what you're saying. It's almost like a Morse code. I didn't really pick up on it that much.
Right. It's kind of like a way for him to say it without saying it, but he's telling us this time is on the mother's hand.
So it's some kind of code.
Well, yeah, it's telling us without telling us, yeah.
Because I thought the whole hand interview was eerie.
Yeah, that was done there for a reason. Because people would sometimes when people, unalive people, they wanna tell us. You know what I mean? Like if you ever watch videos of like old serial killers and stuff, they want us to know. They want to string us along, right? So they put out snippets or they put out ways to show us. But if you think about it, differently, he's telling us without telling us,
Yeah, and some people will say that tapping is irrelevant, but I think it is relevant. I think it's a form of communication. Jules, what do you think?
I agree.
Okay.
I think that I just wonder when, hold on, Brooks, I'm trying to get my puppy out the door. Y'all go ahead.
Well, damn, Jules.
She's eating me up to get outside.
I still kind of think of it the Bible way, right? The way that the Bible goes is, the sins of the father, right? Sins of the father. God will take a child. He listens to the screams of the kids. You know what I mean? He listens to those woes of the kids, and he'll take it. Like I said the last time I was on here, no, God doesn't want any child to get hurt, but we live in a sinful world. You know what I mean? We live off of the decisions and actions that we have freely. And when God hears the cries, which we hear like the stories of what they've said that was done to him, God has had enough, and he's intervened and pulled him out of there. That's what I feel. You know what I mean?
Sebastian in his own way is saying, watch this, because he knew things were welling up. According to his so-called mother, she's saying that they hadn't had any big arguments in 2 weeks. Well, how do you define an argument?
That's where I have a problem. Why do they even say he hasn't been in trouble at all?
Right.
Why did he say that? There was no use to say that.
Oh, yeah. And on that, Jules, she also said it'd have made more sense if we'd been fighting.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what she said. It would have made more sense had we been fighting.
Yeah.
And not to disagree with Main Man, but this evilness is not God's work.
No, the evilness isn't. No, obviously not. No, that's the sin. That's the evilness is what the choices we make. We have free choice. We have free will.
100%.
Right?
And
but God in time will intervene in that and say, hey, I'm going to take, this kid's had enough. And he's, said the day of the Lord will come like a thief in the night.
Well, and let's look at, the choices that they made. He was recently diagnosed with autism. Under her watch, he was SA'd. She admitted it. Under her watch, he did leave the house one time and was found under a neighbor's car. He was recently put on almost a hypnotic type of sleeping medication.
That's bad.
Yeah. He was hit with a belt one time, according to NOAS.
On the buttocks.
On the buttocks for lying. And I think we know that lies are age appropriate. Because when a 15-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old is lying to you about something that happened at school, you need to delve more into it because there's something else going on. You say, well, why did you tell me this? What is really going on?
Yep.
Exactly.
My son. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I was
My
just
son, he did not enjoy high school, so I went right up there to the counselor's office and had it arranged to where he could work online and graduate online. He didn't even want to walk with his class. He just hated high school. He was very smart.
And that's okay. And I mean, every child is different. Every child is different. I'm just, piggybacking off of what Main Man said, we choose evil. And I'm just going through what little we know about this family, which is enough for me. Mike, welcome to the panel. What you got for me today? You're muted, Mike.
Am I good now? Can you hear me?
You're good.
Yes.
Welcome.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to come up and say hello. I just kind of hit who's live. I've never spoken to y'all before, so I always come on and say hello to everybody. It's always good to come on a panel and say hello to everybody. Salute, But me being a diehard Christian and also a former officer, I can kind of give you some introspective on exactly how strange this case is. It reeks of, they did it, and I remember, seeing cases that people were accused of doing things they didn't do because your verbiage and your body language says everything. It says everything. And theirs just seems guilty as heck. I mean, it just seems like there's a lot that they're not telling about the situation, you know, and it's really strange when people like my children, right? I have children. If one of my children, that happened to one of my kids, I'd be a mess, a wreck. I'd be
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I would be going, but when they're not, when they show the emotions of no remorse, they're comparable in what happened. They're hiding their own emotions. You ever lose your son or your daughter in the mall for 60 seconds? You're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Yeah, freak out, man.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But imagine, you know, your child passing away, and you're like, yeah, you know. No, that's inhuman behavior. That is psychotic behavior. It's a sociopath. So they display sociopathic behavior. That's what I see in that. I want to see what y'all think about that.
Well, I totally 100% agree with you. I did lose my son in a store one time, found him in the toy aisle, and I was freaking out. Anyone that could help me find him. I mean, hell, I freaked out, you know, several weeks ago when my cat got outside. Okay. I mean, that's me. I mean, I'm a dramatic person.
Sure.
However, you know, you're talking about your most precious thing in your house, which is, you know, your child. And to supposedly call someone 3.5 hours away and not instantly try to find him and call 911 makes no sense to me. And to say such demeaning things about him, like, you know, oh, you know, for obvious reasons, I don't want to go in his room, you know, like he's in there playing with himself or something.
Listen, I hear noises all the time, and I'll get up every single time, man. I don't care. I'll be like, are you guys okay? And they'll be like, I didn't do anything, or I didn't hear that. But I'll say something every time. If anytime I hear a noise.
Yeah. So the I'm sorry to cut you off, brother. The pause, and I was trained in this. When you interrogate people, the pause in the reaction. In other words, we would call 911 within 60 seconds, right? But the pause is they're trying to make the best believable lie. Does that make sense?
Yeah. How are we going to sell it?
There you go.
How are we going to sell it? And that's what I see. Not just in this case, but so many other cases. How, if I can convince social media, then a jury of 12 is no big deal.
And it kind of goes along with the fact that people think that they're going off of a script, so they have to go with what they've been given, right? So that's the problem. If they're going only by what they've been given and they have to go that exact way, then it makes it difficult for a parent's actual real emotions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if someone else is involved in it and they have to go with what that involvement is, then it makes it a little bit more difficult for real emotions.
Sure.
Well, real emotions are real emotions. You know, the way I react, you know, to a death may not be the way that Mike reacts to a death or Main Man to a death.
Yeah.
You know, it takes me a while to, you know, collect myself, you know, get to business. And then here comes the tears and the grief. Some people are instantly a bawling mess. But when we're talking about your child that you can't find, you don't instantly jump to missing. You almost become animalistic trying to find and save your child.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's not a second to waste.
I'll tell you, there's a place across the street from where I live, and it's kind of like a little store where they build things, right? And then inside the little store, you can look around. Well, I was there with my 7-year-old one day, and she kept like pulling. I'm like, when there's a lot of people around, I'm going to hold on to her hand and have her stand next to me just in case she runs off. And so I look over to the left a little bit, and I look back to the right, and she's gone. So I'm like, Eerie, and I'm like, where? Hey, and then she doesn't answer. So I'm like, hey, like that. And she pops out from around the corner. So I was like instantly like gonna go find her. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you instantly like react to find your kid is just like a feeling that you don't just sit around. You know what I mean? You don't just do that, man.
So
No.
so there's something called being stoic. You know, if you're stoic, in other words, you're what you said, young lady. You said, you know, you don't automatically react a certain way. People react differently. You're stoic. Your brain is processing what's going on. Okay, but it doesn't take all that time to process. In other words, you're trying to figure out. Okay, this is you sitting there, right? And you're going, all right. So how do I deal with this? How do I go about this? And it's okay to be stoic, but you still are you're still frantic. You're stoic but frantic. But these people, they scream of guilt. Scream of guilt. Go ahead. Sorry.
But do you think it's the sins of the father? Because we got to think about it in God's terms, man. We have to. For myself, you have to go. If you let God lead first, you have to. You could find the answers, right? But everybody seems to be like wanting to lean on their own feelings and their own thoughts. So if we let God lead, He'll give you the answers.
Of course, because that's what God gave us. We are allowed to lead with our own hearts, brains, and feelings. So of course we can have a discussion. But you keep saying sins of the father. His father is Seth, who was at work and who was basically alienated from him for the month of February. We've seen bruises on his neck that look like fingerprints, like fingers, like digits pressed into his skin. Have you thought about the sins of the mother? She's even said she never wanted to have children.
Yeah, but the Bible doesn't work like that. It doesn't go on the mother. But if you look back at when Jesus got lost, Jesus was lost for how many days? You know what I mean? And Mary was frantic. You know.
Yep. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, look at my chest. I wear a cross and I wear the Mother Mary. I mean, I wear it every single day, everywhere I go. And you're exactly right. And the thing is that the hardest thing about being a Christian, or if you're whatever you believe in, I'm a Christian. Okay, I was baptized Catholic. I'm Sicilian. I was baptized Catholic, Roman Catholic, but then I ended up turning to a Christian because I believe that your sins can't be washed away by saying sorry to some guy behind a shade. You know what I'm saying? I just K-worded 8 people, but you know what, Father? I'm sorry. That's okay. It's all good. Put some money in the drop box before you leave. God don't work like that. But no, the hardest thing about being a Christian, the hardest thing about being anybody who loves God is you say, God, why are you letting this stuff happen? Why are you letting the innocent? But it's lambs to the slaughter. But it's just it doesn't make sense. And I look at a child as a lamb. You know, they're defenseless. You know, they need us to protect them. The sheepdogs, they need us to protect them.
Amen. Amen to that.
But the thing is that, you know, we have free will. I believe God, we're the only one of God's creation He gave free will to. In other words, we're gonna mess up. He made us imperfect. Imperfect.
But after a while, He's gonna intervene. He's gonna intervene.
Look at the world.
Okay.
Look at the world right now. China's underwater. Dubai's underwater. Did you see 60 earthquakes in Taiwan?
Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm not talking about Taiwan and the Joel Osteen.
I'm saying, but I think God is angry right now at us.
Well, I'm sure He is.
Yeah.
I'm sure He is.
Yeah.
But we're talking about the case of Sebastian Rogers.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
And so let's just please stick with this. God did not take him out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I mean, I appreciate the passion and I love it. So Need Some Z's said, I think every parent is going to be fairly equal in their reaction. I agree. Jen C, my heart goes out to you. I love you, my dear friend. She said, I found my son passed away in the bathtub and I literally could not follow 911. I was just inconsolable. I was heaving and in the most immense pain. That is how people react in the face of immense tragedy.
Amen.
So painful and painstaking. Now, your child, and you don't have eyes on your child, is different than your daddy passing away, different than your grandma passing away, different than your pet. You're talking about your child. And the way that his mama is reacting is not setting well with me. Now, Nick Barris, who I think is he's a great investigative journalist. He had an amazing correlation to the Joe Clyde Daniels case. I don't like to compare cases too much, but sometimes it is relevant.
Disappeared from his Dixon County home in 2018. And now some of the very same people who are looking for Joe Clyde are out now looking for Sebastian Rogers.
Anthony Lyle, Steve Pirtle, Josh.
There's no denying the similarities in the two cases. 5-year-old Joe Clyde, autistic, was said to have wandered away from his home at night, barefoot in his pajamas.
We'll try to get this baby out here, so that's what we're hoping for.
That was 6 years ago.
All right, so you see the similarities with the barefoot, right? And what did the parents do? What did KP and CP do? Just like the blonde girl in the desert, after she was missing, he went camping with a camper, or went with a camper. Same thing that they did afterwards.
Well, this is Joe Clyde Daniels. And they said that he wandered off autistic in his pajamas. Now, his parents are in jail for his murder, and he's never been found. He's never been found. But the comparisons in the two cases are haunting. I was even thinking that maybe they were taking notes from Don and Candace Wells, but this is so much closer to home. And let's face it, Tennessee's a big state. It's a big area. Actually, anywhere you live is big. What I cannot get past is the fact that we're talking about a 15-year-old young man. He's 5'5". He's going to be a little harder to wrangle than a 3, 4, 5-year-old child.
Which means he went willingly. You know what I mean? He was trusting whoever he went with.
There was a relationship there, either a friend or family member. In other words, he went willingly, like you said. In other words, there was no fight.
There was no fight.
You want to come get some ice cream? I'm just saying, an analogy, and then he went with him, and it's like, I'm blessed to be a bigger guy. My sons are very big, talking about like 6'2", 6'3". I'm 6'3", but like, smaller guys, but still 5'5" is still a normal sized person. It wasn't like a child, but people prey on the weak. They prey on the weak.
I'm 5'4". I mean, good luck hiding my ass somewhere.
Imagine trying to kidnap me. I'm 6'3", 215. Try to kidnap me. No, it's all good. I'm sorry.
He didn't just walk out, and she can't tell anyone what he had on because she said she didn't check on him when she heard the thud. So what are you doing, given this Brian Koberger description of what he had on? He's all dressed like a ninja, according to her.
It's funny because in life, it's either if in a relationship or a marriage or father-son or a father, anything in life, if you trust the person, you're just going to go with what they say. So it seems like maybe this person that did this disappearance of this child, the child knew the person. They felt comfortable just going with it. That's what I'm trying to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, and like you said, the dog bites on his arm, right? The dog bites, quote, the dog bites on his arm.
He didn't walk out of the damn house. That did not happen. There is something else going on here. I can't put my finger on it, but something else is going on. And no, I'm not here to accuse anyone of the big M, but I can tell you there is no way that the one person that we know of in the house only can recollect supposedly what he was wearing, which she didn't see him. He wasn't in his bed, and she didn't go check on him when she heard the thud. So you can't say what he was wearing.
Yeah.
She said says he's barefoot because she does an inventory of his shoes. So we know there's a 3-hour phone call, and she heard a thud. We don't know that he even made it back to the house. I don't think he did.
Could the 3-hour phone call be him leaving back to where he was going to, and she was talking to them on the way gone? You know what I mean?
This is the best evidence of the whole case. Okay, so they said they searched a 5-mile radius, right? Let me tell you something. A child cannot walk 5 miles. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Like, you know how long a mile is?
He's going to turn around within 5 minutes and come back home.
That's it. They're going to get cold. You're walking barefoot. You know how hard it is to walk on rocks and gravel. Like you're gonna come back. You're gonna be cold. You're gonna scream for help. That child was taken. Somebody took that child. He didn't wander off. That's just bullcrap. Yeah, that's just.
Sounds like the 3-hour phone call was when CP took, after the fun day that night, he took him, and the mom, was talking to them on the way leaving. You know what I mean? Just because she knew he'd be gone after that, Yeah.
Okay, Jules, what were you going to say? I'm so sorry, hon.
Nothing. I just think that I'm with you. I don't think that either somebody carried him out of that house and went and met up with somebody else, or that's what I think. I don't think he came back home from Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Something's going on in Tennessee, though, that's for sure.
Well, he could have been trafficked. He could have been sold and trafficked.
Yeah.
I mean, that happens. I mean, I've seen so many stuff. Okay, look at HSI all over, the trafficking stuff now, So he could have been a victim of trafficking. His parents may have sold him. I mean, who knows? But that kid didn't just.
I think Katie would do anything to not let Seth have Sebastian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think also about what Noas keeps saying, and what Nina stated on Trev Time's channel. It seems to me that Noas would stop at nothing to let her get her way, meaning she would have custody of their daughter, Faith. He accused Sebastian of everything under the sun, wanted Sebastian to go live with Seth. And Sebastian
called Sebastian a dang P3DO.
Right. It's just, with her background and training she has, I don't think anybody would have, unwillingly, I don't think anybody would have just come in that house and taken him. You know what I mean? With her training.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's something else. It really is. It's all going to unfold. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Unless she wanted them to take him.
That's it. That's what I was trying to say. If he was sold off, and then this is far fetched. But these things happen. People will get into debts, whether it's drugs or monetary or something like that, and people will take their kids. I mean, it happens. This stuff actually happens. Human trafficking is real. This just, for me, seems like someone came in and took them and left. That's what it seems to me. He didn't go wander off, because if he wandered off, he'd be tired. After about a mile walking down the road, he'd be tired. You don't just.
I agree with that. He didn't just wander off.
Yeah. Now, if he was like, 18, 16, 17 years old, yeah, you can walk 5, 6, 7, 10 miles, but I mean, a little boy can't walk 5 miles. They're going to find them. And what they were using the dogs, the cadaver dogs. So in other words, the dog can smell. They give the dog a piece of clothing and the hound will find you. They use them for escaped prisoners.
And they had nothing. They had nothing.
The hounds were all over the place and there was nothing. Nothing.
No scent from dogs. Not one person in that multi-million-dollar neighborhood has him on camera. He is 5'5". He is 15 years old. He damn sure can walk, but he also isn't going to get out of there barefoot.
Exactly. How are you going to walk? How are you going to walk more than 5 miles with no shoes on? Come on now.
How many times in one day can lightning strike? Okay, let's think about it. We have an unusual weekend. Things that, Katie and Sebastian normally don't do together. We have the mattress that gets moved out into the garage. They have a 3-door garage. This mattress was not bought later, even though Chris said it on Nancy Grace, or given to him later. She claims that she knows what he has on, but she said for obvious reasons, she didn't open his door. You can't say what he had on. Okay, last time you saw him at dinner, but you don't know what he changed into to go to bed.
Yeah.
How come nobody checked the traffic lights around the area? There's all traffic light cameras and stuff. There's no footage of anything, or
Does this seem to you like there's some kind of corruption here? Like within law enforcement? Because everyone has a Ring camera. There's red light cameras. There's cameras everywhere. Why is there no evidence of where this person went? It doesn't make sense.
Corruption. I don't think he made it home. If he truly just walked out that front door, not everyone in the neighborhood's going to be in on it.
That's what I'm saying, because where there's nothing at the house at all, there's no cameras that caught him at all. That was because he left beforehand with somebody that he knew and was willing to leave.
There you go. He left with a friend or an acquaintance, and he's gone.
And the 3-hour phone call was mom talking to them, knowing it was his last ride.
No, all we know is that she had a 3-hour phone call with Mr. Proudfeet. They had dinner the night before. That's the last known capture we have of Sebastian. So if somebody went to the house and picked him up and lured him out, which was like one of my first theories, through playing Minecraft and different games kids play, but there's no camera footage. And someone in that damn neighborhood between the hours of, let's say, 9 p.m. and 6:30 a.m. is going to have some footage. Let's get back to what Nick was saying about Joe Clyde Daniels. Actually, I'm going to put you guys backstage, and I'll bring you back up in a second.
All right.
All right, Jules. Do you remember the Joe Clyde Daniels case?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
But I want to see this.
Me too.
This month, a massive search and nothing.
Our main job and our focus is finding where he's at, his remains, if it's remains, or if he's alive, we'll find him alive.
Now consider 15-year-old Sebastian, autistic and said to have left his home in Hendersonville at night, barefoot and with a flashlight 2 months ago. A massive search and nothing.
I think in the absence of information, what we'll continue to do is go back over everything we've already done once, put a fresh set of eyes on it.
Back to Joe Clyde, who is presumed dead. You may recall his case quickly turned criminal Much like Sebastian, there was no physical evidence to explain his disappearance. The key difference is his father confessed to killing his son. He quickly recanted that confession, but was still found guilty at trial.
Why did I kill my son?
To date, Joe Clyde's body still has never been found. Legal experts say his father never would have been convicted without the confession. So what does this mean for Sebastian?
We have not cleared anyone, but we have absolutely no evidence to support foul play.
This despite hours of interviews with those close to Sebastian. So no confession, no physical evidence, and no new leads. If anything is to be learned from Joe Clyde Daniels' case, it's that someone who knows something needs to speak out and come forward with that information. And if they don't, it's very possible that Sebastian's case will never be solved.
Woo, that gave me chills. He is so right. No evidence to support that he ran away. No physical evidence to support foul play. Now, when they pressured Joe Clyde's daddy, he finally confessed. Then he recanted. Now, I don't expect Harley Proudfeet to unburden herself anytime soon. But you're talking about the same agencies that solved Joe Clyde's case. And they seem to be working in the same direction. What do you think, Jules?
I have to agree. I think they are. I think they know a lot more than we know.
Well, damn, they better, because I don't know a lot.
I don't either, but I hope they do. They got to do something, change it up, and do something different.
You know, and since, Nick brought this up, my hat off to him. He is so right. The parents claimed that Joe Clyde just walked outside in his pajamas, barefoot. They still have not found him. All right. There's a lot of woods in Tennessee. There's a lot of woods everywhere.
Yeah.
You don't want to get lost around Jules's home. Okay.
No, you don't.
And they can interrogate and interrogate and interrogate. That doesn't mean that the people they're interrogating are going to say a damn word to them.
That's right.
They can lawyer up, they can plead the fifth, and they can say, prove it.
Yep. Totally agree. But I'm not confident that he even made it home from the Texas Roadhouse or wherever they went.
That's the only thing that makes sense to me, Jules. Now, I understand a kid in the summertime wandering off barefoot, but not when it's 26 degrees outside. And you're already talking about a child with sensory issues that will not leave without shoes and socks, because that's what gets me. Go ahead, Jules. Sorry.
Dad confirmed that 100% that he would not go out without shoes because of the fire incident.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he left. I don't believe that at all.
Now let's go back to the title of the show. People are, damn sure welcome to have their opinions. Damn sure welcome. But shaming people that are calling out child abuse, and I mean real child abuse. I don't mean get in the corner, I'm going to bust your buns, child abuse. Or get out of that or I'm going to bust your buns. I don't mean that. I mean pure on humiliation, degradation, beating with a belt.
Manipulation,
thank you. And they say because no ass is an alpha male. You raised 3 alpha males and you're married to one.
Right.
What do you call this?
I don't know. It's a mess. I don't think you think Chris is the alpha male, or you think Katie is.
Well, I think they both took hands in humiliating Sebastian. I think they both took hands in torturing.
Throwing shots at.
Yeah.
Throwing shots and.
I think Katie has a bigger dick than Chris.
I do too.
I can just imagine. I mean, that's probably the reason he doesn't have an ass. I mean, could you imagine? Oh, and it's just horrible. Let's look at some of what the behavioral panel said.
All right.
For the situation, I would say.
One of those tape replays.
Did he have any friends that could have possibly contacted him in some way on his phone?
All his friends at school have been questioned to my knowledge, and none of them knew anything.
So this big question mark. He's vanished.
Yes, ma'am.
No one can figure out where or why. All right.
She couldn't even finish her question, and Chris is already answering it. He doesn't even know what she's going to ask, and he's instantly jumping in going, yes, ma'am.
He's constantly doing that. He doesn't let her speak.
No. Well, he's probably intimidated. Look, she's got a ball sack hanging from underneath her chin.
Chin, yeah.
I'd be scared too.
Me too.
Goodness.
It's like a big woman that can take care of herself. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, look at that. My God. And look at him. He's terrible posture. And all he's mad about is me saying he has no ass.
So let's talk too about the relationship involved, because the biological father is very much involved in Sebastian's life as well.
Yes, ma'am. Very much.
Right. And how would you describe that relationship, the two of them and the four of you?
It's relatively good. I mean, we talk regularly. He talks to his son on a regular basis, sees him on a regular basis. He's involved in school and therapy. And I mean, he didn't have any extracurricular activities, but I can tell you now, if he did, his dad would be in the front row.
In two different households.
Interesting, because she's not exactly naming what quote unquote alpha male she's talking about. She said he didn't have any extracurricular activities. Okay, past tense, I don't like that. But if he did, his dad would be in the front row. Is she talking about no ass or Seth? I'm going to hear that again.
Do it again,
I missed that the first time.
All his friends at school have been questioned to my knowledge, and none of them knew anything.
So this big question mark. He's vanished.
Yes, ma'am.
No one can figure out where or why. All right. So let's talk too about the relationship involved, because the biological father is very much involved in Sebastian's life as well.
Yes, ma'am. Very much.
Right. And how would you describe that relationship, the two of them and the four of you?
It's relatively good. I mean, we talk regularly. He talks to his son on a regular basis, sees him on a regular basis. He's involved in school and therapy. And I mean, he didn't have any extracurricular activities, but I can tell you now, if he did, his dad would be in the front row.
Okay, my apologies. She's talking about. I was just so taken aback by no ass saying, going, yes, ma'am. He just vanished. I mean, God forbid we say, we don't know what happened. We can't find him. But
and with that, reporter says, so he just vanished. No one's talked to him and all that. I would have lost my shit right then.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'd have been.
And she is so stoic and just, I don't know, but I don't trust her.
Too stoic for me, considering the gravity of the situation.
Exactly.
Two different households, and the communication between the three of us is great. I mean, yes, we're just like every parent. We all have our disagreements, but in the end, we come together as a team and we work and we come up with solutions that as we best see fit. I mean, I'm almost in contact with him almost daily.
Let's talk about Sebastian. Tell me about Sebastian. How would you describe him?
Sweet, stubborn. He loves to help. He loves running, and he loves to play his games and his fidgets and Uno. Lord, that's one of his favorite games right now. Favorite color is green.
Does he love music?
Oh, God, he loves music.
Yeah.
An eclectic taste.
An
eclectic. I mean, from, as everybody knows, Eye of the Tiger to Eddie Vedder.
Oh, yeah.
And so we got Pearl Jam on one hand, we've got Survivor on the other over here, we've got Taylor Swift, and
he's got a big crush on her. I mean, country, rock,
no
classic.
hip-hop. We don't allow the hip hop.
Well, he doesn't really
Well,
get
I say
into it
rap and
anyways.
things.
You mentioned he loved running. So did he love the outdoors at all? I mean, would something outside that was somewhat outdoorsy be enticing to him or pulled him outdoors?
He loves, like, when we were in California and the school had this lap thing to gain money. It was a fundraiser. And every year I did this many laps. I did this many laps. I mean, I've got T-shirts where they would write on his back. Every time the kids went around, they'd mark a mark on the back and they'd keep running. And he just had marks all the way across his back. He likes playgrounds. He hates being dirty. He don't like being dirty.
Yeah, he's not your tomboy style child where he goes outside and plays in the mud.
He loves animals, but he's terrified of bugs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, even a fly, and he's like,
What's so funny? What is so damn funny is what I want to know.
I don't know. Is it nervous laughter, or I mean, and by the way, they're about our age. This is their playlist, okay? And this whole, we don't let him listen to hip hop. Oh yeah, God forbid you let that ghetto trash into your nice house. You don't even know what he likes.
Right. No idea. He just went through a wide range of musicians.
Yeah.
So that right there throws you off on, I mean, what
He
he
liked
really
to
likes.
run. He liked to run. He would do laps. He likes to fish. Okay.
What did he not like?
Yeah. But he can't stand bugs, but we're supposed to believe that he's out in the woods somewhere wandering around.
With bugs crawling on his feet, bare
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah. I got a bug bite on my face right now. I mean, come on. Bugs are out now. But he's not a tomboy, but I'm like, he is a boy. What are you talking about? What did they do to spend time with Sebastian? I would love to know, not from Seth, but I would love to know from the Proud Feets, what did they do to spend time with him?
I would too. Because so
Chase, what do you
far,
got?
Only Seth has
Both
told
of
us.
them are expressing truthful recall when they're listing all these things that Sebastian likes to do. They speak about him in present tense, like he's still around. This shows us a couple of things. Parents who know the disposition of a deceased child are more likely to accidentally default to past tense when referring to them. And parents who speak in past tense about a child who aren't involved can show that there's a finality to their feelings, like they no longer have faith in the child returning. So all the expressions here are genuine and unforced. And when they're both of them discussing his likes and dislikes, they're comfortable. All the facial expressions, the gestures, the movements match the syntax and the timing. They speak about all the things in present tense with genuine joy. And parents who are involved with a disappearance, even if they can look back fondly on a child's behaviors, are still having to manage perceptions and maintain deception, which keeps them from being this fluid and unconstrained in their descriptions. So this fear of being discovered mutes and muffles these expressions that you're seeing right here in this video that look very genuine to me, at least. Mark, what do you got? Yeah, the same. Look, very positive comments around the child. Only one negative one, which is about him being stubborn, which is then kind of laughed off, I think, in a very natural way. To be positive about him, and there's every reason why a child on the spectrum reaching teenage years is going to become more and more stubborn often in their behaviors. Not every child of that nature, not every child, but there is a possibility that this will be a thing for that family at the moment. They get really animated about the Sebastian's love of music. Clearly, that is a joy.
Screw the music. Now, let me tell you something. I'm trying to give these guys another shot. I really am. I'm trying. But I think their summation of Don and Candace Wells and what they reported to Dr. Phil was so off target. The only thing, in my opinion, they got right was that Candace knows more. Well, shit. Pay me in Jules. We've known that since June 15th of 2021.
Hell yeah. I mean,
Gotta be kidding me.
you don't have to have a degree to figure that out.
Yeah. I mean, that's just basic common knowledge.
Yeah.
For them, it's a
repay the gratitude, the love that we felt from the community, the prayers. But thank you.
But
from the
don't
bottom of our
stop
hearts.
looking.
Yeah, please.
My son is somewhere.
This ain't
Bring
over
him
until he's home.
I go. He's not in someone's home, but listen to this. Tina Welsh, welcome to the channel. I love when we get together because everyone sees things a different way. I'm certainly not the all-knowing. Hell, law enforcement is not the all-knowing. Jules isn't. Chloe isn't. Wist isn't. But I love things like this. Tina Welsh. She said, I think Sebastian pissed Katie off on the way home. She made him take off his shoes and walk home. She's adamant that his shoes are accounted for. There is no scent of him near that house, but the 5-mile radius would make sense.
Yes.
We heard from Peter Hyatt, who has said something happened with their extreme punishments. I have never thought about this. We have, leaped to theories saying, did he even make it home from the restaurant?
Right. This is a good comment.
You know what? I could see this. Then she's at home.
But I thought she meant pissed on Katie, like, does she mean Sebastian pissed Katie off, or he pissed on her?
I hope it's not that. No, he pissed her off. And so she just says, take off your shoes and walk home.
That's very well could be true.
Ooh.
The kind of
I don't think he ever made it home because the dogs don't lie. You're not talking about one mangy dog that just has to use his sniffer. I'm talking about these are trained dogs and they have no scent of him. They have no scent.
And if she would have took the trash out that night, they would have had a scent. Right?
Damn right. And if he walked out the front door barefoot with all skin cells and everything coming off, because that's what's going to happen as you walk, they're going to have a scent. They'll at least know what direction he went.
Right. They have no idea.
Wow.
Which again leads me to...
Let's go through some of their other punishments from the alpha male and female.
Okay. Let's do it.
Almost nothing left in the room because he wouldn't clean his room properly. Keeping food from him. The pull-up situation. They took his snake from him. I do not believe that all of the snakes were out of the house. I don't.
They probably weren't.
But what Tina has said makes more sense to me than anything. Katie is fed up. She's pissed. She's known to be volatile. And she's like, just take your damn shoes off and get out. Yep. You can walk the rest of the way home.
Get your ass home since you act like this.
Mm-hmm.
Embarrass me.
Mm-hmm. She said he left out the front door. How do we know it's not the car door?
That's right.
She gets home. She calls Chris. She's bitching up a storm for 3 hours, waiting on Sebastian to make it back home. She passes out. She probably had a bottle of wine or two, thinking Sebastian made it back home, and he's not there. That's the reason she described what he had on, because that was what he had on when she took him to the restaurant. Seth couldn't make it out because the image was too grainy, but he knows it's Sebastian.
Yeah, I don't think he ever made it home. I don't think that was him that took the trash out.
Oh, fuck no. Hell no. Fuck that trash and fuck Pearl Jam. That shit didn't happen. No.
Hey, I love Pearl Jam.
All right. But this is a real possibility. It makes more sense to me than you.
Yeah, it does.
Because there's zero evidence of a break-in. There is, I mean, don't think that they haven't gone through every game system they have.
We don't even know if there was a real thud.
Well, I've got a lot to think about now because this puts everything in a totally different perspective. It actually makes more sense. And obviously, it's just a theory.
But it's a good one.
All right, guys, I'm going to wind this down.
I love you. I'm hopping down.
All right, love you, Jules. Let's have a big round of applause for our friend Jules. Woo, woo, woo. And round of applause for our friend Avi, our friend Chloe. Tina said, it's just a thought. What if Sebastian messed himself at the restaurant? Katie had extra pants, and that was his black pants. See, girl, I'm telling you, it's making too much sense to me now, because there is a piece of this puzzle that is really missing. I also want to say thank you to Main Man and Mike for coming up. Thank you for the Joel Osteen hour, as opposed to talking about the case at hand. But I think you made your point. Anyhow, I hope you guys have a great rest of your Taco Tuesday. Who is the best chat and best community on YouTube? I'd say you are. I'm not the channel. You guys are. This was a dynamite panel. Amazing comments. I love when we put our heads together and, well, try to make sense of what is not sensible. Mod Squad, you blew it out of the park again. You guys are the best. You have a great rest of your Tuesday. Have a taco for me.